Those are your alleged founding fathers who are lynching their own people because they refuse to submit to the religion the way they saw it, who are killing off their own people. So you imagine what they're going to do with African slaves, people who they believe are heathens anyway because they only worship one God. They only say nothing has the right to be worshipped but Allah. We have to destroy that concept. And the only way to destroy that concept, because the people won't die, is to enslave them. So now let's jettison, now that you have a background, let's jettison up to 1776. Can you imagine what it would be like if you were in 1776? You get to meet Thomas Jefferson. In your books, he's talked about this as this great hero. He's called a founding father. Imagine being an African brought here in chains, having your home ripped out from you, having your life and your families destroyed, being brought here in America, and then now your children are calling Thomas Jefferson, who owned 250 slaves, your founding father. Imagine the mindset of that black man at that particular time in the world. A culture that says, you're chattel, I can trade for you. All you got to do is work. All you do is work. I got free labor from you. You have no rights. You have no civil right at all. You can't even speak. Your language is taken from you. Your religion is taken from you. Your family is taken from you. Every right that you enjoy right now is taken from you. And you have no recourse. Well, you know what? So that you get a clear understanding. These slaves did not submit to that. There are at least 250 recorded slave rebellions where they fought back. Slaves turned over ships in the Atlantic Ocean. Slaves jumped overboard. Slaves got here together, and they may have been speaking one language here and from another tribe here, and worked out different types of languages so that they could be able to communicate that this is not humane. What we are going through is not humane. These many were Muslims. So they were talking Arabic to each other, writing and sending messages from Quran to each other, pretending that they couldn't read. So when you get the image in your mind about this shiftless black man who doesn't want anything out of life, when you get that image of that black man who doesn't work, doesn't want a job, remember that the first black man who touched foot here in America, that first generation, that second generation, that third generation is what built America. Every time you go down to the Washington Monument and you snap a photo of it, remember, that was built by black slaves. The people you say, who they tell you every day, these people don't want to work. Civil right, no right to be respected as a human being. Because of these revolts, because people won't lie down for you, how many of you would lie down for that? How many of you would lie down and be tortured and enslaved? How many of you? Not one person? Come on, don't one of you want to be a slave? Oh, come on. Can I get one slave? One small slave? Nah, shut up. No, absolutely not. And you know it. You know it in your heart. It doesn't make sense. But this is the history. And so the people revolted. They fought back. Now, what does fighting back mean in that time? Think about it. It meant death. It meant death or torture or legislation. See, when they formed the government and they put into it, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That first generation of Africans didn't get a chance to hear that flowery language from Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. But the next group began to hear that and said, wait a minute. You saying that all men are created equal. We are men. And they had to then, because the people resisted, because the slaves said, no, we are men. We have always been men. They said, no, you are no longer men, and they had to put it in their legislation. So then they began to define them based on geographical terms. Think about that. Think about you being who you are, and you're told that you can only go 3 steps past the masjid. You would look at anybody who said that and say they're crazy. Well, only the 5'2" and above ones can go 10 feet. Everybody here would bust out laughing when you heard that, right? Because all the boys would be doing like to see us down on their toes, and all the sisters would be like, to see, really? You know? So all the guys would be like, I'm 5'8". If I do this, I get 2 more inches out. No, that's the mentality. You got to really understand the mentality, because that's the only way you can understand where you get to a civil rights movement. The people said no, and they have historically said no. 250 slave revolts. So in 1776, these flowery words come out. In 1801, you have a slave revolt in South Carolina. Degmar Vesey. In 1802, you have a slave revolt. Gabriel Prosser. In 1831, you have Nat Turner. In 1811, you have 500 slaves take on Louisiana. In 1805, you have the Haitian Revolution, where they defeat the French army. But for, you think about this, but for that resistance by these slaves, there would be no Louisiana Purchase. Louisiana doubled the size of the United States. The French sold Louisiana, the entire territory which they controlled as a French colony, to the United States and Thomas Jefferson, because he could not afford to keep it and defend against the Haitians. Every one of you should say thank you to Toussaint L'Ouverture. You should love that man. Because but for the grace of Allah touching him and saying, I'm going to say no, you would never know that Louisiana is a part of the United States, that Missouri is a part of the United States, that parts of Texas and half of the South is all part of the United States, based on the revolution of these black men in Haiti. And by the way, so you get a clear understanding, till this day, Haiti is being tortured because of that revolution. Why do I say that? Because I'm here to tell you that black Americans here in America are being tortured because of the revolution that they put on since 1901. So you think that, oh, all they want to do is sit around and be shiftless. They are being set upon each and every day the same way the Haitians are being set upon, because they refuse to sit down and watch the world take their rights. They wanted the right to be treated as men. But they made some mistakes, and we'll get to that. At some point, we get to the Civil War. In your history book, they're going to tell you what? Abraham Lincoln, this great white man, look, so that you get a clear understanding. I have no problem with white, black, green, blue people. I really don't. And I know some blue people, in case you want to know. Yeah, I really do. I have no problem with that. I'm talking about a mindset that says that I am superior to someone because of the color of my skin, or because of the power of the gun, or because I get to define for them because I'm the one writing the book. So I get to define for you what it is to be a Muslim. So when you hear a word like jihadist, a word that doesn't even exist in Islam, jihadist? What is a jihadist? Show me something in Islamic doctrine that says the word jihadist. That's someone else believing that they have the right to define for you what it is you are. It's always an economic imperative. But again, the people resisted. Now let's jettison from Civil War to early 1900s. Who is the mother of the Civil Rights Movement? Anybody? What's her name? Rosa Parks. And Rosa, he's whispering, he's like, Rosa Parks. You know what? Rosa Parks is the lady who, according to history, got fed up and sat down on a bus. Now somebody tell me who Claudette Colvin is. Wow, look at that. Come on. Give me a whisper. Whisper to me. Claudette Colvin. I see you tweeting them, tootling and Googling. Whatever y'all do. He laughed at me because I was tootling. Whatever. Look, I still got an 8-track in my car. Claudette Colvin sat down on a bus. She was a 16-year-old teenager. was tired, sat down on a bus 9 months before Rosa Parks.